Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Brap Genius, back at it again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the motorcycle safety course and whether or not you guys should take it. Yeah, start it off right, boys! Yeah! Oh my gosh.
Hi, Mom. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, we're getting real muddy.
On camera when I die?
Of course. Before I get into this, to talk about my credentials for the MSF course, I got 100 on the riding portion and 100 on the written portion of the exam, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this class. So I'm going to be talking about the experience that I had with the MSF course, everything that happened for me, and whether or not I think you guys should take it. I've been riding motorcycles now for about 3-4 years, so I am not new to motorcycles, and now that I've had some experience riding on the streets for a while, I want to talk about whether or not, you know, taking this class was worth it. Because, you know, you got to pay $250, $300, and if it's not worth it, you don't want to spend your money. So to answer the question quickly, yes, it's worth it. I'm going to break down why in this video. First things first is they give you this packet full of information and they ask some questions, and you got to fill them out before the class itself. You should do them before, just because then you'll be better prepared for the class, but if you don't do it, I don't think it's the end of the world, at least not for the class that I went to. Now, we had to be there early. I think we had to be there at 8 o'clock, and they were very strict on time. If we were late, they were not going to let us in. They were going to tell us to go home. We'd be out our money. Now, with this class, other than learning about all the information about motorcycles, in addition to that, you actually get to ride the motorcycle. The class that I went to provides you with a 250cc cruiser motorcycle, and basically the rule is you can drop it as many times as you can. I mean, you shouldn't drop the motorcycle. I think only 1 or 2 people did the entirety of the time I was there. But basically, as long as the bike is running, you're fine. If the bike stops running, then, you know, class is over. Depending on how bad the bike is, you know, you might have to pay to fix it. I don't know. We didn't have to deal with that. Hopefully you guys don't either. But that was pretty much the rules going into it. So the first day was basically, you go in, and it's a lot of book work. You go in, you introduce yourselves. You're in there with a bunch of people that want to do the same thing as you. So you start to make friends pretty quickly. You talk about why you want to get into motorcycles. You do an introduction and everything, and it's a good way to start the class. It kind of sets the tone for everything that you're going to do. Now, moving on from there, you start to get into the information side. You start to go over everything that's in the book. At the end of the class, you're going to take the written test and the driving test. So as long as you pass both, which they're more lenient than the DMV is, because you're paying for the class, you know, they want to see you pass, so they're a lot more lenient. But for the class in general, I think it was worth every single penny I spent. And I recommend it to every single person that talks about getting a motorcycle, whether they have dirt bike experience. Man, I just love the stares I get with this helmet. But I always say, I don't care how much dirt experience you have prior, if you don't have road experience on a motorcycle, this class will help you. His mouth dropped, bro. Just because they teach you so many things that are so useful on the road. They teach you to be prepared at all times and kind of to look for things so you kind of see them before they happen, so you can avoid a motorcycle accident, because that's one of the biggest things you have to deal with on the road is other cars and situations and going into blind corners and stuff like that. And this class really does a good job of preparing you for all of that. When I started out in the class, we went over all the information for a couple hours, then it was time to get out on the motorcycle. Now this part was hard for me because I was very excited. I wanted to ride, but of course before they let you ride the bike, they got to sit you down, go over all the controls and everything, make sure that you are ready to ride the motorcycle. So I had dirt bike experience. I already knew how all the controls worked and everything. It's only a 250cc motorcycle, so I wasn't going to be afraid of the power. In fact, I was actually very enthusiastic about riding the bike. More specifically, as soon as they let me start riding it, I tried to wheelie it, and they were not too fond of that. They just told me to cool it. But I got along very well with the instructors, so they were very fun. They knew I had dirt bike experience. You know, I told them I'd been riding before, and so they were more interested in me because I already had some experience, and they liked the transition from a dirt bike rider to a motorcycle rider because they feel that that's the best way to learn how to ride motorcycles. And now that I've done it that way, I think it is too. But anyway, to continue on with the class, from this point you start to do some drills. They'll have you go around in circles. Like I said, they teach you everything is on the motorcycle, teach you how to start it up, let you listen to it, and then eventually they have you go through a bunch of courses and do different skills training and stuff like that. And it's great because it gives you actual experience before you buy whatever motorcycle that you're gonna buy. You get to learn it on a small bike. So if you bought something that's a little bit faster after the class, you already understand how the clutch and the throttle work. So if you feel like that 250 cruiser is fast and you buy something, let's say like a 650 sport bike like I did, it's gonna make you more aware of, hey, I need to go slower when I give this thing throttle, because if not, you're gonna give it too much throttle and it's gonna be dangerous. The second day, same thing. My class was a 2-day class, total of 16 hours, 2 8-hour days. On the second day, same thing. You come in, go over more information, and then they take you back out onto the parking lot. Pretty much stay in a parking lot the entire time. So it does get a little repetitive if you already have riding experience. But if you don't have any riding experience, you're probably going to enjoy the entirety of both days. Now, after you go over everything, after you've done the second riding portion of the day, you're gonna go and you're gonna take your written test or your riding test, whichever comes first. Every school does it differently, I believe. For me, I took the written test first. Now, like I said, they prepare you for this test, so it's pretty hard to fail. I believe you have to get a score of 80 or higher in order to pass. There wasn't anybody in my class that got less than a 90. Like I said, I got 100 on it. I had the highest written score. And then we went out and we did the riding test. Now, the riding test is great in this situation because you've already done the riding test, technically. Because the skills training that they do, they pick out some of the skills that you went over the past 2 days that you would have to use in the motorcycle test if you went to a DMV, and they basically have everybody go through, roll that, and then they mark points. You're allowed up to 21 points before you would fail. Nobody came even near that. The highest, I think, was maybe like 10 points. Basically, for example, if you're going to do a stopping drill or something like that, you have to stop within a certain amount of feet once they tell you to stop. Anything you go over, every inch is a point. So that's an example. So we went out, we took the riding course. I got knocked 0 points on the exam. So like I said, I received 100 on that. That was easy as well. So overall, I had a great experience with the MSF course. Like I said, I think everybody should take it because they really teach you a lot of tricks that will keep you safe on the road. You know, you got to pay some money and it sucks. And at the time, I didn't have as much money as I would have liked. But I knew that if I wanted to get on the streets, especially here in New Jersey, where the roads are as populated as they are and as densely populated of a state as this is, I knew that I wanted the safety class and have that background. You go and you make a lot of friends. You know, I met a couple friends there that I still talk to today, that I still ride with today every now and then, and it's cool that you could make that connections when you guys get into something like this. And it's great to be around other people that are as passionate about something as you are. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, guys, have a great day.